One. Mm-hmm. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Horror and Hooch. I am Kay Bly of the Fifth Wall. I am here with Jade Astral of the Fifth Wall and Desiree of Tempered Drinks. Can you guess what tonight's going to be about?
The Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yes, we are going to cover the good, the bad, and a lot of the ugly of season 8. And, just some of our favorite moments from the whole series. So it's going to get really interesting tonight. Desiree, can you give us our brief review of our drink ingredients? And then we'll go into a little more in a minute.
All right. So tonight, in honor of Cersei, we are drinking a little wine. So this drink is actually called Cersei Sangria. And the ingredients are a white wine, which I chose a Sauvignon Blanc. And this was cupcake because it was just what I had today. Little triple sec. And then you need some fresh berries. I chose cherries and raspberries for this recipe. If you allergic, if you like something different, berries doesn't matter because it's a sangria. And then also you need a little bit of lime, but not a lot. Fresh lime. I'm sorry, not juice.
I use juice.
It be like that sometimes.
I was like, I maybe lime juice too.
Ain't no wrong with that.
No. Same effect.
So we'll get into kind of how we fix that drink in just a minute. Before we start sipping, which we're going to get to, for Cersei Sangria, let's kind of recap just a bit of season 8 before we break it down. This was, I guess, how we wrapped up everyone's story. The whole, pretty much point of Game of Thrones was who is going to sit on the Iron Throne after, that whole thing happened with the Mad King. And it's like who, that's what, Game of Thrones story started way before we got to the show. So it's kind of been all about who is going to sit on the Iron Throne. And, all the battles and all the wars and deaths and family split ups and people coming back together, all is leading to this one moment of who's going to sit on the throne. And also, what are we going to do when the White Walkers show up? And so we got all of that in 6 episodes. Basically, we wrapped it up, is how we deal with the White Walkers and the Night King, and who is going to be the new ruler of Westeros. And I don't think it was what anybody predicted. I would like to meet somebody who predicted that it would be Bran. Sorry, spoilers.
Nobody.
You haven't watched it? Don't watch us first. Come back and see us after you watch it. Plenty of spoilers. Okay. But I don't think anybody would have guessed Bran was going to be the one to be the new king.
No, that's why.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying that on Facebook. Like, I'm going to go ahead and admit, viewers, I am the part of the 3% that has not watched the Game of Thrones. I see the little memes and everything, so I don't know. I'm just that type. I'm gonna wait till the hype die down and then I'll dig into it. That's really what it is. Like,
but yeah, that
you
was,
probably did it the smart way.
Yeah, everybody was upset because they thought it should have been, maybe 1 or 2 other people that everybody wanted it to be. They wanted it to be Daenerys, and the other half wanted it to be Jon. And nobody really got what they wanted, and we got something that nobody saw coming. And that's why everybody was so mad. It was like not even you can't even say Bran was the least that person somebody expected because he was not even in the running. He was like low key
Right.
the past couple seasons. It's like how did you get from here to there?
Like,
Yeah.
like how did that happen?
We
Did
gonna
they
get
make it
into
happen? Like,
Lady writers.
We gonna get into it.
but can I get like a little span? Like, did it happen in like one episode or like one or two episodes? Like, how did they do that to y'all?
For
The
so,
one very last episode.
yeah, for Bran,
It just dropped this in our lap. There was no.
yeah.
See,
Yeah,
that's
there was
why
no
they couldn't
crazy
get the
nothing.
coffee cup out of the other scene because they were so focused on that scene right there.
Yeah, Bran's character arc, we didn't see him becoming the king. Bran is a character that has like the psychic abilities, you would say, of the show. So he can see things. And then it's mighty funny that he saw himself being the king and nobody else did and he didn't tell anybody.
I wouldn't either. They would try to kill me.
Now, he put stuff in motion for it to work. That's what he did.
Right. So it's like he kind of like set everybody up and set everybody in place just so that he could end up, taking the throne in the end. So that's how we wrap that up real quick and fast. But we're gonna dive into that. Let's kind of get our sip on real quick.
All right. Sipping. You guys, this is not my normal thing. I usually make drink on camera. But for sangria, you want to let it sit. You want to let the flavors melt. So this was pre-made. I'm sorry. Y'all didn't get to see the greatness this time. So this is my sangria. I'm about to pour it up. But I'm going to tell you how to make it. So usually sangria you make for a big group. So I'm going to give you the big group recipe. You're going to start with your bottle of wine. 750 milliliters. That's the standard bottle of wine. Put the whole thing in there. All of it. It's empty. Ain't nothing in here. Gone. So, in addition to your wine, you want to do a fourth a cup of triple sec. When you mix these two, you want to give it at least an hour to steep and chill in the refrigerator. If you don't, the flavor's not going to be the same. So prepare this ahead of time, which is what I did. And once you've got that steeped, long as you want it to, you get you some fresh berries. Like I said, I use raspberries and cherries for this one. If you do cherries, make sure you pit them. And you drop those in right before you're ready to serve it. You can see my fruit. That's what makes it a sangria. The other part of this recipe is fresh lime. You will also cut up a little bit of fresh lime. I wouldn't even use half because it's going to give you a bitter taste. I actually use none today because I don't need that bitter in my life, but the recipe does call for it. So, get your cute little glass. I did freeze some of my fruit ahead of time since you can't use really ice cubes in wine. It just don't work. Little frozen fruit, keep them chilled. And that's it. It's a very easy drink. It's a big group drink. You got folks over at the house, toss up some sangria real quick and you'll be good.
I'm excited about this. It's pretty.
I chose this drink for Cersei because all she did the entire series was stand in her window and drink wine once she became the queen. So we get to stand and drink wine tonight, like we Cersei.
I like her. I like queens.
No.
She was mad.
I'm not even gonna say no. We're not gonna.
I don't know none of these characters, y'all.
First of all, I want to show everybody my glass.
Ooh. Kima, what's that in your cup?
Strawberries.
For all the Tyrion fans here.
Oh, Lord.
And House Lannister. That's good. I don't like you, Cersei, but I like your let's
and the colder it is, the better it is.
Yes, I have mine's in the fridge for a good minute, getting chilled. I thought about adding ice, but then I was like, I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. So I didn't do it.
You would have watered it down.
I know. And then I thought about it. I was just like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Um, favorite moments and dislikes. But first, before we go into that, because that's gonna take us a minute. Episode 3. Desiree, can you recap? This was probably the best episode of the season, I would say. Can you recap episode 3 for us?
Oh my God. So episode 3 was life. It was what we had been waiting for. It was the culmination of everything coming together. This is the episode which we finally got the battle between the world and the White Walkers. In this episode, John was able to get together his armies, Daenerys' armies, everybody but Westeros, Cersei. And they fought the battle with the White Walkers. It was dramatic. It had some points where you was like, oh, how they doing that? Because I promise you, the White Walkers will sacrifice their lives to get through. And this is the second time you've seen them do that. Fire. Yes, they just threw themselves on the fire. Like, here we go, y'all. Walk over me. I'm gonna burn to death, but y'all can do this. There were some great surprises. I think that was the episode that the Night King showed you his real power, because you done killed all these folks on the battlefield, and he decided, oh, well, thank you. Let me raise these folks from the dead to fight for me. And so you pretty much, if you've not watched any of the Game of Thrones, you can watch season 8, episode 3, and get your life and put everything together, because the battle gave you everybody's death who should die. And before each death, you got a little piece of the past so that it made sense.
Right. So they did recaps throughout it.
Yeah. Like they would get like a memory flashback, or something will be said between characters that'll spark your memory. Like, oh, that's what happened. So they did really good with that in episode 3.
I like the
Arya was the shit.
Yeah.
Arya Stark saved the day. She is the one with no name who killed the Night King. Because he does die, y'all. He had to. Like,
he had to.
It had to happen. You knew it was coming. You just didn't know how. Again, Bran sat around and did nothing. Nothing. But the battle scene was probably my favorite, because in the beginning, you got like some hope. The Dothraki ran out there on the battlefield.
Right. You know, and you really thought something was going, they got us hyped up at the beginning
with the flame, and they was all lit.
To work on these, and then when it got real quiet, when all the flames went out on their weapons, everybody, it just got like, it was lit up, and then everything just started going like dark, and then everybody was quiet.
Because you was in shock.
Yes. I was in shock. I was hyped up for a minute, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, no.
So who did you two wanted to have the throne? Like,
this changed drastically for me in season 8, because I had been Team Targaryen / Arya Stark all through the series. It had to be one of them for me. Yeah. Season 8 hit, and I was like, Daenerys, sit your ass down. I was done, because she was blinded, and she turned into her father. She was blinded by revenge. She was blinded by what she wanted. She was selfish. She pissed me off the whole season. And it was on 6 episodes. She pissed me off all 6.
So basically, well, they took a pause from worrying about the Great War to kill off the White Walkers. The White Walkers are basically zombies. So before you can worry about who's gonna rule Westeros, it's got to be a Westeros, because the White Walkers could have came and killed everybody. Like when they came into Winterfell, did you see how they was like? You could barely even see them. Everything was like shh. Like they was like chopping them knights up left
down
and fast. Like they're not even your typical zombie. They're fast, and they get you like this. And they were willing to sacrifice themselves, laying in the fire to make a path for the rest of them.
Like ants.
Freaking dragon.
Yes, at Bridget Ant.
You know, they're more powerful zombies. They have somebody who's intelligent that rules over them, which is the Night King. And before we could even finish, you know, get back to who's gonna get the throne, we got to get the White Walkers out of the way, or else they just, you know, everybody would be dead.
But you know what? You keep saying like they're already dead, right?
Right.
The White Walkers. That's why they don't mind sacrificing themselves. They're already dead.
That's right. That's right. And they didn't, because they wanted they were
What you got to lose
for the Night King. The Night King maybe wanted to be the king of Westeros, and he's dead. You just it was just
now that would have been. I need to watch it then. That sounds cool right there.
Yeah,
I thought the show was all about incest and dragons.
No. See,
There was some incest.
That's why you gotta watch it. That's why you gotta watch it. And we have like if you watch that episode 3 and you see the Red Witch as well. She helped them during that battle with the White Walkers. She lit up the Dothraki swords. So that
okay.
out there, like they were holding up their weapons, and she did a spell and all of their swords lit on fire. And see, that's you know, hype when it started, and then they didn't make it, you know.
They all came, like 3 or 4 of them came running back.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yeah, shout out to Barrick and his sword, who's always lit up. I would like one of those. Barrick's sword always on fire.
Well, no.
Rest in peace to him. But, you know, after we got past that whole thing, then we get back to the Battle of Westeros. Okay, let's get back to who's gonna sit on the Iron Throne. You got Cersei, House Lannister, who wants to take the throne. We got House Stark left.
Well, no.
We got
who really wanted to sit on the throne though for House Stark? Like Sansa didn't want to be the queen in Westeros.
Yes, she did.
She wanted to be queen in the North.
Yes, she did. Well, you can. Well, and you got Jon Snow.
It would have had to been Jon. Oh, but anyway.
And then you had House Targaryen, which those were the 3 that were left. I mean, if you count for the whole series, everybody was trying to get up there.
Everybody.
House Tyrell, the Greyjoys, the Baratheons. You know, everybody was trying to jump on the bandwagon. But by the final season, it was just kind of between really House Lannister and House Targaryen. You still had House Stark, but they was just kind of like more want to protect the North instead of all Westeros. It's like we just gonna protect our area. I don't know about y'all.
Right.
And we get to this last battle, and that's when all the fans of Daenerys Targaryen started to question her sanity. And
what was she doing, girl?
Yes,
girl,
and
she heard them knucking the if you buck bells in her head. That's what happened.
You know, we're gonna talk about me.
What?
Part of my favorite thing.
She did. Wait. She put what?
So you don't watch it, but there's a meme going out. The deal was this. Okay, they were gonna go into battle at Westeros, and they said that if Tyrion made a deal with her, if they surrender, if they ring the bell, leave it alone. It's done. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna burn the city. We're not gonna kill innocent children and people. If the soldiers surrender, let that be the end. So she come in spitting hot fire. The soldiers are fighting. They realize we can't beat this dragon. They start dropping their swords. So she's perched up on a building, and you waiting to see if the bells are gonna ring. Here come the bells. They start ringing in the city. So what should have happened was they surrendered. Woo, 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 we won the war. Let's go see how we're going to handle this. Instead, she gets this crazed look on her face and decides to burn all this shit down.
Yep.
And so her and the dragon went to town. Burnt everything down.
Was she on her period?
Girl.
She could have been. But no, okay, this is what happened. Daenerys Targaryen actually started off as a fan favorite. This is a recap of kind of her backstory. Her family was the one who ruled the Iron Throne a long time ago. And then her father
went crazy.
He kind of went crazy and they killed him off and somebody else took the throne, Robert Baratheon.
Well, that didn't fall too far from the tree, I
And,
guess.
and let's see, but let's see. She wasn't always that way. So her brother kind of sold her off into marriage with the dog.
Ooh.
He's like, you're gonna marry Khal Drogo, and we're gonna take their army. So that's the first thing. Some things happened, and they tried to burn her. Some people tried to burn her up, and found out she could not be burnt. And at the same time, they also found out that she got a gift of like 3 eggs. So within that fire, she made it alive, and the 3 eggs hatched into 3 dragons. And so she kind of went on this journey. She got her army by freeing them. They were slaves. She freed them from being slaves and took them on as her army, and decided, like, I'm gonna take y'all. Y'all are gonna come with me. So she just kind of had this like long journey of being a stronger person. Like a lot of people didn't respect her in the beginning, but when they saw her and her dragons and her army, she kind of earned her respect.
Yeah.
And,
You know what it could have been? Like sometimes the strong get weak.
well, what happened was when she got to King's Landing, they took her best friend and they killed one of her dragons.
She did get weak emotionally
in front of her. And so that was it. And her best friend, by the way, said right before they beheaded her in front of them, Dracarys, which means like they ass up.
Pretty much. It's the man that she get the dragons when she wants the dragons to spit flames. So she pretty much told her like this shit on fire. But
she said turn that thing up.
She said turn last words, and she was like Dracarys. And her head went rolling.
So she lit the whole city up. So that's kind of where people, said she went crazy. But I mean, how would you feel and those dragons were like her children? So imagine your child dying in front of you and your best friend dying in front of you. Would you not light everybody on fire for this?
Oh, I would turn all the way up. Just like that mama that just got arrested in Virginia for fighting them teenagers because they were trying to jump her daughter. I would pepper spray the whole clique. You trying to jump my child? At least I ain't swing on it. I pepper sprayed you.
She turned it all the way up like she was supposed to. So Desiree, give me your favorite moments and the things. Let's do favorites first because those are few. What are some of your favorites from this season?
This season, oh God, there weren't any. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, you got one or two.
So my number one on this season was of course Arya killing the Night King.
Right.
Because she pulled that trick out her book, and
yes,
it caught me off guard because when she dropped the knife, if you did not watch this, okay, let me go back. So Arya she got a message from the Red Witch. Red Witch was like, "Hey, we crossed paths again. What did I tell you last time we spoke?"
What she said?
She told her she would close many eyes. She told her green eyes, blue eyes, and I think brown eyes.
That's
girl, yes. But the Night King has blue eyes. So when she told Arya that, Arya was kind of looking at her and she was like, "What do we say to the god of death?" And Arya said, "Not today." And she took off running. Now, the god of death reference is from her trainer who trained her as a child in her battle skills. So that was something a mantra he had for her. What do we say to the god of death? Not today. Which pretty much means we ain't losing this fight. So when she took off running, at that moment, I knew she was going to be the one. Everybody else missed it, I guess, because everybody I talked to was like, "I didn't see it coming." I was like, "How?"
I thought it was going to be Jon Snow.
I knew it was Arya. So then the rest of the episode, I was just anticipating, like, damn, what's taking her so long? Jon over here fumbling, trying to fight a dragon. He finna die. Where the hell is Arya? I thought she was going to save him when he was in the field with all the White Walkers. Didn't show up. I was irritated. But when she did get to the place where the Night King was, it was in an open field by the Tree of Life. What the hell is the name of the tree? Tree of Life.
Tree of Life. The big one with the branches.
It's the little white tree with some red leaves.
Yeah, one of them.
Them weeping willow type trees. I don't know. But Bran was waiting there to lure the Night King out because he knew the Night King was coming for him. He had Theon protected him, but he knew the man was gonna die. Because right before he died, he said, "You were a great man. Thank you for your help." Nigga, you just let him die. You just let him die.
Let him die.
So you thought it was over because he done killed the only thing protecting Bran. Bran in a damn wheelchair sitting in the middle of the field. He ain't got nobody else. You thought the end was coming. And I'm still looking like, God dang, where are you at?
Wait, so you telling me the person that got the throne? I am not trying to shun anyone that has disability.
Oh, yes, you didn't know he was in a wheelchair, girl. Yeah.
And they call him. Wait, listen to this. They call him Bran the Broken.
Bran the Broken. Okay, so let me get a backstory on Bran the Broken.
Last will be first. Don't you dare.
Bran proved
they don't let the cripple. See, they let you know you cannot let any disability, nothing hold you back. I like that. They let the woman with disability.
He wasn't born crippled. What happened with that was Cersei and her brother Jaime. That was the incest she was talking about. They was the incestuous couple. So Bran just happened to be climbing trees and looking in the window at the moment that they was doing the nastiness.
See, look how that evil spread it. You see that? Go ahead. Tell me what happened.
Cersei's brother / lover didn't want to be found out because, mind you, his brother was married to the king at the time, Robert Baratheon. So they were
doing the most.
Exactly, and she was married to the king. And so to protect them, her brother Jaime pushed Bran out of the window. And
he just walked over and did this shit real slick, like, bloop.
He did.
What? He didn't look at the boy when he pushed him out the window, but they thought he was dead.
He kind of like did this here and was like,
"Oh, so y'all telling me that this boy was climbing on his dead?"
So anyway,
he knew. I bet he saw the whole vision when he fell from wherever he fell from. He was like, "I'm gonna be on that throne." He probably saw that thing.
That's why I said he the puppet master.
He saw it. He was like, "Oh, you pushed me out the window? Okay. See, look, you gonna be my footstool. I'm gonna play all y'all."
He did.
But he annoyed me on his journey because every time some shit was popping off, Bran would go psychic and he blacked the fuck out. So old girl had to drag his ass forever because he couldn't walk.
And but he wasn't going psychic. He was having some daggone panic attacks.
Every time something popped off. But anyway, in the field,
favorite moments.
Night King, Arya killed him. It was great. For season 8, I want to say Jon killing Daenerys was a favorite moment, but it just wasn't as gruesome as I had imagined it was gonna happen. Like, I figured if he killed her, it would be some dramatic ass shit because she killed everybody else so dramatic. But it was more of like a Romeo Juliet. I don't really want to do this, but I got to type of shit, and I was like, all right. Now the Dragon's Rebellion was bomb. I like that because the animal, the beast, was the smartest nigga in the room.
Right. Drogon set that episode off. Like, he was like, you know what? If my mama can't sit on this throne, nobody's sitting on this throne. And lit that shit all the way up. Ain't no more throne.
On fire.
Ain't no more throne.
I was mad it was a throne anyway because everything else in the city burned down. How the hell throne still sitting up there?
Well, she made sure Drogon didn't burn that down. Let me see. Yeah, I enjoyed Arya killing the Night King. She came in and saved the day. Let's see. I thought the scene where Bran was sitting there waiting for Jaime to pull up.
Shady boots.
I thought that was hilarious when he said he was waiting for an old friend and Jaime get off the boat. So basically,
Jaime's face was even more hilarious.
Yes, he came face to face with the guy who crippled him later on.
What?
Yes.
To be like, when he did it, was it more as like I'm king? He got to see that,
it was before he was king.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because old boy thought he was dead, that's why it was so dramatic. Because he walked in and was like, "Oh shit!"
Like you
He
wait.
is alive.
Yes.
What else did
Well, I mean, everybody's done figured out. I don't watch the show, but it's just what I've seen in the media so far. And what was funny to me was the Starbucks cup. Like, everybody was tripping out about the scene. Was that in season 8 or another season?
Yes, that was this season.
Yeah, that was this season, and I actually noticed it during the episode.
I did notice it. I
You
did.
didn't?
I thought I was tripping.
Episode that I didn't know because I was so into the episode that I didn't know. So a lot of people really didn't notice it. It's just kind of the fact that as expensive as this show is, you would think that somebody
They-
thought that.
But what? Okay, as you saying, as expensive as the show is, what if that was left there for a reason?
Well, and that's what some people are saying.
Nah, they just was
It could have
fucking
been
up.
product placement, but I don't think so. Somebody got
Because
lazy.
it wasn't.
I don't think it was product placement.
Well, that's what everybody thought at first, but it ended up not really being a Starbucks, like actual Starbucks cup. It was some other coffee shop,
Yeah,
like
and
something local
they
there.
that lady that credit for it. Like some lady
I
who
mean,
has her
it could have
own.
been product placement, but it was so like they edited it out after the fact. So if you go back and watch it now on like on demand or anything, it's not there anymore.
So yeah, anybody who goes
So,
back and watches the seasons, they're not gonna.
I don't know. They did it another. Was it? Oh, a water bottle on the final episode was underneath one of the chairs that the cast was sitting on. So they missed that too. I told you these niggas was just lazy on this last season. That's what was wrong with all the writing. They was lazy.
On this show, just lazy. I think those might have been my favorite part.
But
3 was just
I don't know. Some of my
brilliant.
worst moments, I guess, for this season. I'm gonna say Cersei's death.
Mine too.
Because it was anticlimactic as fuck.
She deserved a terrible death.
Her incestuous brother left his side piece, because I'm gonna call her side piece. They hadn't got that yet. Because he still loved his damn sister. But Brienne was like the shit. She was a female warrior, the only one there was. They had just made her a knight.
What?
Yeah, she was like she protected Sansa through
himself.
half of the series.
He could have redeemed himself.
And as she was trying to get home to the north, and Brienne, she was just really she was probably like the tomboy back in that day. She was what a tomboy would have been. And she was a knight. Well, she wanted to be a knight. She didn't get to be a knight until the last battle. But she was in love with Jaime. Jaime that lost his hand. He ain't the warrior he used to be, but she still loved him. So after they won the battle, she was like,
he lost his hand?
Yes, he lost his hand. So Jaime had a nickname of the Kingslayer. And he got captured at some point during the series, and they cut his hand off. I can't remember. It was in a battle. I can't remember what happened or why.
Yeah, they were like
but
in a
after that, he
battle.
was using. Oh Jesus! Don't drop the liquor.
But see, he
was using a gold model hand for the rest of the season. So he learned to fight with one hand, which that was an amazing feat or whatever. But he was getting old, he was slowing down, and Brienne was like, come on to be my boo, like, let us live this life together. And he said, no, I'm gonna go back to the city for this last battle.
Wait.
All right.
So the brother had a lover, his sister, and the man?
No, his sister was his lover.
Okay, because I just got confused. I was like, Lord, he is doing a lot.
No. The sister was his lover.
Okay.
Brienne was the tomboy.
Okay, the knight.
They had fallen into like love something.
Brienne loved
She
him.
loved him. I don't know if he loved her.
Situationship.
They was in a situationship.
She gave him the draws after they won the battle. And so she thought, okay, we're gonna stay together.
And he basically told her at the end that
he get on his horse and he said, no, I'm going to my sister.
Yep.
And she looked like Boo Boo the Fool. But he goes to the city to save his sister.
Y'all giving me all the tea. I like
Girl,
this.
what?
It seems like
And they
this is
die.
stories.
So Tyrion is the baby brother, and he was supposed to he was on Daenerys' side. He was on Targaryen's side.
Because he didn't get along
But
with
he
his-
still cared about his family. So he tried to convince them to surrender, give it up, whatever. They wouldn't do it. So he freed Jaime because Daenerys had captured him. He freed Jaime and told him, save our sister. Get her out the castle and y'all get the hell on somewhere. Don't ever come back. So he goes to try to save her. She's sitting there while the walls and everything crumble. Like she's just gonna wait for the whole damn place to fall down. And her guards convince her, like, bro, we gotta move. So she's running, she runs into Jaime, they try to escape, and pretty much they get stuck in the damn crumbling building.
And die.
So her death
Together?
They died
together, girl. They was hugging each other as they died. But
Jamie and
it just ended up being really anticlimactic because you really wanted Arya to take her out.
Wait. What'd you say? It was a
They're
lot.
twins.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said it ended up being anticlimactic because they just died in a crumbling castle. Like nobody killed her. It wasn't a gruesome scene. Like she was such a bitch all episode and all the series. You just wanted somebody to take her out, and it didn't happen that way.
And see, basically,
like when her son died, I was getting my life.
Yeah, we got spoiled by.
He was poisoned, and he had to croak and fall out, and it was dramatic, and it was great.
Because all of the other villains had good deaths, and so we were.
And then somebody else jumped out the window.
Tommen, her
but
son,
whatever.
Cersei's son.
I can't even remember. It's been so many episodes, many seasons.
We wanted a more.
And then last year they gave us a whole gap between seasons, so you had nothing to do but think about what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because
most of the deaths were very
But that's probably my worst scene was Cersei's death. I hated it.
Yeah, she should have got it more than
What else?
I didn't like that they killed Rhaegal.
That's it. Season what is this? 8, in my opinion, was rushed. It was only 6 episodes. That's not normal. And it wasn't that great. And not because I didn't get what I wanted, because by season 8, I didn't know who I wanted to have the throne.
Yeah.
But because all the story arcs didn't get closure. There were so many open-ended things that happened. Like the Night King had 99 babies that he had turned into White Walkers, but they were infant White Walkers. So we never really saw what happened to them. We can only assume that they grew up, but ain't no telling. And what else happened? There was just a lot of things that were loose, open-ended. So, how do you feel about that, Kima? What do you think was some things that were loose and open-ended with this season closing?
I don't know. I'm okay with how it ended. I just wish that there could have been a couple more things that happened. Like I'm okay with how it ended. I just wish that we could have seen Arya do her mini face god trick.
I did too. She spent too many seasons learning it.
I wish that we could have seen a little bit more of that. Let's see. I feel like I of course I would have wanted Cersei to have another death. I feel like we should have gotten a little more about where Drogon was headed, or if there were any more dragons. Like I don't want him to be alone in the world.
Girl, and then what did he do with her body? Like he took it and did what? Did he do like dolphins and just ride till he couldn't ride no more with the dead body?
That too. I kind of wish that we would have had more of a backstory of the Night King. Oh, and Well, did she get dusted like Avengers at the end?
You know what? Her story never really came together for me, and I was irritated about it because you saw her take that necklace off and turn into this old hag. You never understood what that was about. Nobody ever gave you details on it. There was never like a moment where you was like, "Oh, that's why she owed this shit with this necklace on." Never. And then when she take it off and crumble, it's because she was old as shit and she took the necklace off. But how did she get in that position to begin with? You never got that story.
I was just like, get dusted. But I tell you what, I enjoyed the cinematography of this season.
Yeah, most definitely.
That one scene where it was the final episode, and it was when Jon Snow was walking into the area to meet up with Dany, and you seen Drogon laying in the snow, and they did like the wide shot of Drogon waking up, shaking the snow off of him, and then Jon was just standing there. I thought that was beautiful cinematography.
It was nice.
I thought
he looked at Jon like, "Try me if you want to."
Yeah, exactly. Jon wasn't afraid. I thought that was good cinematography, showing. I like they threw in when you saw Missandei and Grey Worm walking into Winterfell, and you could see like white people looking like there's black people in Winterfell.
You know what? That killed me though, because I had to think about that. Damn, they ain't ever seen black people before.
I like how they kind of showed that, how they were getting those looks, you know. I was like,
and then they looked at each other like, these folks here.
Like they don't know, they don't want that. I liked when Daenerys was giving her speech at the end, and did you see when she was walking up and then Drogon's wings like spread out behind her? That was really good.
Behind her, yeah, that was dope.
I love the outfits. Everybody's costumes were on point. Even Tyrion's little costumes are always so cute. He always just looks so regal.
Who is that?
That they call him an
person?
Imp. He's a
Tyrion is the imp. They call in those medieval times, I guess they would call him the imp.
I hate that.
I think
he drinks and he knows things.
Jorah had a noble death, though. I
wish she would have gave. You know what? Daenerys gave it up to some ain't shit niggas. Why she didn't give it up to Jorah?
I was always rooting for Jorah. I was rooting for Jorah last season. And when she went in there and slept with Jon Snow, I was mad because I'm like, no, you're supposed to, that's for Jorah.
I was confused because like in the beginning, okay, you had not Drogon, I'm sorry.
Khal
Drogo. You had that random dude that betrayed her. I don't even remember who he was.
Mm-hmm. Then you had the other dude that she left in the last place that was it. They changed it from Slaver's Bay to Dragon's Bay, right? And
yeah.
Left there. Well, you know what? Why didn't he bring his behind over when they was going to war? Because she said, "Hold it down for me," you know. And she gave him a little speech like, "What we about to do?" He could have came over.
Girl, she didn't gave everybody the draws, but she ain't giving the Jorah. She gave him Jorah.
Jorah cured himself of the grayscale just to make it back to her.
Come to huddle. Come to huddle.
Speaking of top 10, we're gonna do. I tried to make it 5, you guys. I promise I tried to do 5. But we're gonna
what you finna do top 10.
Jorah was old. Jorah ain't that, so it don't matter. Jorah can be old. Y'all don't do Jorah like that. He was low.
Said Jorah didn't get the draw because he was old. I guess.
Y'all,
I'll be back. I gotta refill. I'm gonna be right back.
We gonna do our top 10 OMG moments. I tried to make it 5, y'all, but it got extended because it was just so much. So the first one, and they're not even like in order of intensity. It's just moments that were just like boom. Dany, when we found out that she couldn't be burnt, I thought that was kind of the thing that like kicked off like this is a magical medieval times. It really is magical. When she came out of that fire and the little baby dragons was like floating around her, I was like, oh, this is real.
I was like, oh, that's a bad bitch right there. Okay.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she a real one. And I think that's when everybody started to respect her. Like she's just not this little weak damsel in distress.
Yeah.
She's gonna be something. Number 2, we gonna the red wedding.
You see, I got my crimson on for the red wedding.
One of my coworkers recently started watching Game of Thrones, and when she got into the red wedding, I said, "I told you." I don't even want to.
So, as the series goes, the red wedding really was our first massive killing, big shock, gruesome scene. So for everybody, it was like, "Oh shit!" Like everybody had that reaction because you hadn't seen that much death and that drastic before. But on the flip side of that, when Arya went back and took them out with her many face tricks, that was even better.
That brought us a little justice, because at that point, I think the red wedding showed us that Game of Thrones had no limits.
Yeah, like, ain't nobody safe.
Nobody is exempt in the medieval times. If you in Westeros, you can get it. It don't matter who you are, man, woman, child, stray, gay, pregnant, children, animals. Anybody can get it in Westeros, and that's what the red wedding kind of showed us, that they don't take betrayal lightly. And the part was that Arya was right outside, but she came back, did her many face god trick, and then all was right in the world.
Right.
3, this had me shook for a couple weeks when we finally figured out how Hodor got his name.
I cried.
Bran.
I cried.
All Bran's fault. Bran gave a seizure as a child. Because, think about it. Think about if your Hodor looked like he might have been, he had a regular name back then. He had a real name. He was just out playing. Think about if you were just out playing with your friends. You're maybe like somewhere between like maybe 10, 11, 12, that age. And all of a sudden, you have a vision of what your death is going to be like as an adult. And it gave him a seizure. And after he came out of the seizure, that the only thing he saw himself sacrificing himself to save somebody else. And he saw himself holding that door, holding off White Walkers to save Bran's ass. Gave him a seizure, and after that, he just couldn't say nothing but hold door after that. And we never knew hold door meant hold the door for freaking.
Wait.
Listen, see
now you got to go watch.
You gotta watch.
Wait, his name was called what?
So we called him Hodor. Hodor.
We thought Hodor was special because the only word he could say, we thought Hodor had autism. Hodor could only say Hodor. Anytime, that's the only word he could say was Hodor.
It's like Groot. He said with different inflection, but it's the same damn word.
Same word, different emotion, same word. But Bran gave us a vision of how Hodor became that way. Hodor was a child playing with his friends. He was regular. He could talk. He had a regular name, everything. And he had a vision. And he saw his death as an adult. And that gave him a seizure. And after he had that seizure, that kind of like messed him up for the rest of his life.
Poor baby.
Because he saw his death. And it was a gruesome death. It was a terrible death. And that think about it. Think about you just out playing and you kicking it. And then you see that you die in the most terrible way as an adult.
Man, I wouldn't hold nobody though.
Exactly.
Hold on.
I'm gonna change my death.
that was the problem. Willis, somebody gave us his name. Thank you, Marquand. Hodor's real name was Willis. And shout out to Bran for freaking making Hodor, mentally disabled just to save his ass.
But hell, didn't he become disabled?
Pay back his mother.
But Hodor was a little bit more disabled. Hodor couldn't talk no more. He just could say Hodor. And nobody even knew his name was Willis anymore. Like, because, you know, in medieval times, when something is wrong with you, they kind of cast you aside. So he kind of became an outcast after that. Nobody knew what to do with him. And it was all Bran's fault. Let's see. Jon Snow dying, number 4. When he first died.
I think I cried then too.
Nobody saw that coming because he was killed by his own men. And they tried to say they were killing him for the great good. They all stabbed him and was like, this is for the wall. And it's like they were really disloyal. Like, he didn't really do nothing that bad. They just felt like things could have happened better and they just needed to blame someone. And they killed him off for that. But the thing about Jon Snow, he died. It was like a season finale. But the witch brought him back to life. So, and that's how, you know, that's where that came. Melisandre finally did something good with that, because I didn't like the Red Witch before. But she came and kind of put Jon Snow back together. But I didn't really see him. It shocked me that his own people turned on him and killed him. What else? Viserion. Season 7, was it when he died? The Night King threw that spear in the air.
Oh yeah,
and killed Viserion, and then reanimated him and rolled his ass.
Let me tell y'all, I hollered when he started blowing blue fire. Because I was like, is it ice or is it fire? I don't understand. And then I was annoyed every time after
that. Yes, thank you, Marquand. That they were mad at Jon Snow when he brought back the wildlings, because Jon was trying to build.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Between the wildlings and the Night's Watch, and they weren't trying to hear that, so that
girl put that thing on him. Jon didn't know what to do.
Yes.
What?
Speaking of, she was like, "You know nothing, Jon Snow. I have my little notebook here."
Really, Kima?
Oh, and guess what, Desiree? What does he know?
Nothing.
Nothing. Ain't nothing in the book.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. And in season 8, he still knows nothing.
Girl, he annoyed me in season 8. He was a punk. I can't say it no other way. He was just his answer for everything was, "She is my queen." No, sir, get your hoe in check. She is not your queen.
Neutral. Let's see. Number 6, we already talked about Arya killing the Night King. We talked about Jaime losing his hand.
Right.
Number 8, we haven't gotten into. Ramsay Bolton demasculating Theon.
That is not greatness. You should put Ramsay Bolton's death, because that was greatness. That demasculating Theon hurt my feelings.
But remember, we didn't like Theon at that point. We didn't like him.
It was still wrong. All that shit was wrong.
We hated Theon because Theon was killing somebody that he shouldn't have been killing. And remember, he did the worst beheading in life. Okay? When you behead somebody, you give them one swipe and that's it. He had to keep sitting there chopping at the dude's neck, blood spewing everywhere. Dude over there suffering, screaming. The crowd is just like, you know, he was feeling himself in that moment.
There was nothing I liked about that whole Ramsay Bolton era, because Ramsay Bolton was the first psychopath they legitimately showed us in this series. I think he was the only psychopath besides Daenerys at the end that they showed us in this series.
Joffrey was a little crazy too.
Okay.
Because remember, Joffrey didn't win in that brothel and started killing all the bastard kids of Robert Baratheon.
You're right.
So he was but we didn't think it could get any worse than Joffrey. And then we got Ramsay, and Ramsay showed us true medieval torture. It was like medieval torture 1101.
It wasn't even medieval torture. It was, what the hell wrong with you? Who hurt you as a child? He was crazy.
You remember the episode when Lord Baelish brought Sansa to him, and you remember how evil he was just standing there looking? He was just he had that evil look on his face. Oh, Marquand, we're gonna get into the sparrows in a minute. Let's see. We're gonna go back to Littlefinger. Lord Baelish when he pushed old girl down the.
That shit was just funny. It wasn't even nothing to it. It was just hilarious because he did it so carefree, like whatever.
The lady down that way.
It was so like nonchalant. It was just about as bad as Jamie pushing Bran out the window. It was like,
But I think Lord Baelish felt something more when he did it. When he felt, he looked like he felt liberated, and the lady didn't even have him on lock.
So he was tired of her talking.
Like,
bitch, shut up. That was it. Just like, shut up.
And go on, man. He said, I'm finna be the Lord of the Vale. I don't know what you doing, but I was speechless after that. And then let's see, 10, when Cersei blew up the sparrows. The sparrows was a little overly religious, mind you. Not that I like Cersei, not that I'm taking up for Cersei, because I'm not, but the sparrows were they were
cultish,
over religious. And I mean, she did get hers for that. You know, they had kept her in that little dungeon, and they exposed her for the incest, and
she did the walk of shame.
She did the little walk of shame, and they cut her hair. So, you know, and for what, you know, they tried to make us feel sorry for Cersei for like 5 seconds. I didn't.
Nah.
I didn't feel sorry for her, but they tried to make us feel a little bit sorry for her. I didn't. But you know, and you know, she played the game for a minute. She act like she act like she had got humble for about.
She was delivered.
Yeah, she was delivered for about 5 minutes and blew them all away, including her son Thomas' girl. Marjorie Tyrell was in there when it happened.
Thomas was the one who jumped out the window. I was like, who jumped out the window?
Her son
jumped out the window. Yep. He did a free fall. Was like, fuck this
shit. His mom killed his bride.
He said, fuck this shit. He didn't want to be king no way.
Well, exactly. We knew he wasn't ready to be the king no way. We knew he wasn't ready.
Those were some good moments. You did good with that list. I ain't mad.
I had to bring it there. And you know, over the years, memes have gotten better for Game of Thrones because see, not many people were watching it like that. And then as the years went on, like within the last couple of seasons, and people started jumping on the bandwagon, these memes got real funny.
No, keep you book. I'm trying to tell you.
That one had me in tears. Another one that got me was at the beginning of the season when somebody said Bran ain't nothing but Jaden Smith in a fur coat. I think I spent
that was the truth. With them revelations, he be coming to like ain't nobody else thought of this.
Somebody said in episode 3 when they was fighting the White Walkers, Daenerys was outside of her house coat and didn't bring no coat for Drogon.
Let me tell you something. When Daenerys picked up a knife a sword in this season, I had to think about, I said, damn, who taught her to fight? When did she learn this in all these seasons? And I realized she really didn't learn nothing. She was just trying to survive.
She was just trying to survive. But those memes had me hilarious. Y'all done put, and I know ain't nothing but y'all black people done put crying Michael Jordan memes
on everybody.
They done put crying Michael Jordan memes on the Night King. I had tears in my eyes when I seen that. I'm like, y'all are too much.
The memes was greatness. They were.
The memes kept me rolling. I think that's also one of my favorite
favorite part of the internet.
Yeah.
Period.
Y'all wilding on these internets.
And they don't waste no time. I'm trying to figure out who up in the wee hours of the night got these memes rolling the very next day before I can wake up.
And the brand memes have me rolling the most. Have you seen some of these brand memes?
Wait, no. Have you seen the behind the scenes shot where Brand got his legs out from underneath that blanket and he's just sitting up there with that pedestal?
Bare legs.
I said, damn, we ain't seen Brand legs all season. But no, I think as a whole, it was good. The series was good. Everything was good. Yes, we got kind of disappointed in the end. I will say season 8 was garbage to me. I was mad, but I'm gonna say that the books are gonna be the saving grace because he has already said that the books will not have the same ending. So I'm gonna let you take your time and end these books right because you didn't end them right this time. And I'm also excited about these spin-offs, even though they're all supposed to be prequels, which kind of sucks. But I'm still excited nonetheless because it means I'm gonna get some more of Westeros, some more of the North, some more something.
What do you think is a good place to start off for people? Because they could go into like maybe telling a backstory of the Night King.
So I did see something about
forest, that whole thing.
Yeah, I did see something about like the Targaryen lineage. We're gonna get that story. The Mad King, we're gonna get his story. That's what I know. But other than that, they really ain't dropping no hints.
I go back and tell us about but the how the Night King came and how the children of the forest like created him to protect themselves, and now there's
because it was a very brief episode. And
there's no more Night King that we know of.
Yeah, it was a very brief episode. They didn't give us enough details, so I would like to see that. You're right.
How Jon Snow, when he took the wildlings out into the forest, because it's like in their minds there's no more threat anymore. The Night King is gone. They can expand their territory, and that's what I saw that as them leaving the Night's Watch post and going off like, okay, there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Let's go out. Let's get out here.
I don't know what they were scared for. No way. They had Torment. Giant's Bane was that. He was one of my favorite side characters all the time.
Yes, let's take a moment for all the heartbreak that's happened. We talked about Jorah, who died in the friend zone. Tormund had to see Jaime taking his girl. Tormund was hitting on Brienne
from the beginning. Is the big lady still here?
And he was in his feelings. He's just like, I can't believe this. Like, he really gonna do
it. Right. Is the big lady still here? That shit killed me every time.
He was. Oh, and let's not forget Gentry proposing to Arya.
I don't know why he hurt his own feelings like that.
He knew
Arya look like she finna settle down. Sir, she told you, hey, take them pants off. I ain't the red witch. Come on with it. That's not the kind of girl you propose to.
Arya is a trained assassin. What she look like sitting up in the house being a wife? And he couldn't wait for him to get this much power. Daenerys gave him a little title so he could feel highborn as a bastard child. And he's like, oh, so I got a little status now. Let me go ahead and get in here. Arya was not going to go for that. And then was like, you sweet, but
That ain't me. That's what she said. That ain't me.
That ain't me.
That ain't me.
I feel bad for Grey Worm. I really did want him and Missandei to be a thing.
Yeah, because the man already lost his manhood. Then y'all gonna take his girl, probably the only girl in the world who's accepting of him not having his manhood. That was bad.
Well, I heard, this is what I heard, that it's not like the what was Varys? Varys was a eunuch.
Yeah.
That they're not like a eunuch, that it's still there, the main part, but the part that lets them have children, the fertile part, is not there.
I thought that's what a eunuch was. I thought eunuchs just didn't have no balls. You was trying to be nice about it. Eunuchs ain't got no balls.
But I think
thought that's what that was.
That's how they did the Unsullied. So if they, they're not all the way out, they just can't bear children, apparently.
I'm going to make you laugh. So last year, I had a Game of Thrones baby shower.
Yes.
So every food item had a name.
Oh, no. What did you name?
So we had meatballs that were the jewels of the Unsullied. And Tommy would not let me put the damn marker on the table. He was like, no, they're just meatballs. Don't do that. I can't eat that after that. But my meatballs were the jewel of the Unsullied. in my mind. But yes, y'all, that's how much of a fan I am. My baby shower was Game of Thrones, if you didn't know.
Shout out to Grey Worm. It's me.
He made the menu.
It's me. I know, girl. I'm so much of a Game of Thrones. My Instagram name is Game of Rose. Holla at me.
Oh, you Liz. You sure right. Okay, so what's next?
RHOS. I drank too much. Woo! Come on, Cersei and her sangria.
Right. I done had 2 glasses and I still gotta go eat something. Shout out, Mama. We finna go get food. So what's next? What is next for Tor and Hooch?
Well, first let's get into social media. You guys follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at The Fifth Wall, The Fifth Column, and Tempered Drinks, so you guys can stay up to date on our latest episodes, how to follow us, how to participate when we have giveaways, our podcast on Spotify and Google Podcasts, Anchor, good stuff.
Pause. We got a fan out there that's probably highly upset with me. Marquand, I am so sorry. You won our giveaway. I owe you some items. I have not made it to ship those off yet. I did not forget you. I got you. I will be sending you a DM. My bad.
But we got you though. We're gonna do another one real soon. And our next topic is going to be books. I thought about that after It Chapter 2 was coming out soon, and the book that we all loved as a child, The Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, that whole series, they made those books into a movie. So I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about our favorite
authors and books. Okay.
And mystery and stuff. Let's talk about our favorite Goosebump books that we used to read, our favorite Stephen King novels, any other horror, mystery, suspense writers that we kind of flock to, and, you know, books to movies that we like. So we're going to get into all of that. So catch up on your reading and your favorite authors and your books to movie list that we don't know about or that's coming out.
There's some suggestions.
Because we're going to get into that, because I'm a big bookworm. I've always been a bookworm. So we're definitely going to have to talk about that next episode. Side note, would y'all count Twilight as horror?
Hell no. That's fantasy.
So I can't talk about Twilight next episode.
I mean, you can, but it ain't scary or nothing. That was some foo-foo. I was so mad at them vampires was all glittery and shit. That's not what I...
Okay, don't do it. Don't do Twilight, okay?
I mean, now, I watched the whole series and I was a fan, but they vampires was weak. I was rooting for the werewolves.
Books that was like this.
No, I ain't read the books. No, I ain't do that.
I still got my books. So, you know what? We're going to talk about all of them. Even if you don't think it's horror, some good suspense novels. Give us some suggestions of what we should be reading.
Hit us in them DMs.
Books. Give us some Black authors of horror. Because there's not that many out there.
I was like, damn, I got to look that up.
Yeah. I have a book coming out soon that's actually sci-fi, suspense, horror type book. So
okay.
I'm gonna get into all of that. So stay tuned, follow us. I hope you guys go fix this wonderful drink. I drink and I know things.
It's Memorial Day weekend. I'll be drinking all weekend. Y'all tell nobody that.
Memorial Day weekend special salute and shout out to all of our military personnel.
Most definitely. We appreciate all your service.
Veteran, cousin, military, sorority sisters in the military. Love you guys. You guys have a good weekend. Turn up and stay in touch.
See you guys next time.